There's a spectrum of people exploiting the problem in the anti-trafficking nonprofit world. I want to give you a simple case study to help you vet these organizations and look past the marketing headlines so that you understand what they're saying and then what they're actually doing and whether or not they're worth supporting, because I do want you to support the good ones. You just need to be aware that there are a lot of people that are well positioned to actually make a difference and combat trafficking, and they're collecting millions of dollars in the name of combating child trafficking, but they're not necessarily doing what they say. So here's a simple case study. This particular nonprofit claims they expose and eradicate child trafficking in America. A pretty specific claim. Their founder is a former Tier 1 special operator. They have a special Viper team of elite operators. They work with law enforcement to arrest and convict child predators with a 100% conviction rate. So a 100% conviction rate would mean that every person they arrested or targeted was charged and convicted, is in prison, okay? So here we see 32 arrests with a 100% conviction rate. Let's tap in. When you look at their public arrest list, which anyone can do, you start noticing problems, because they're claiming 100% conviction rate. There's different numbers of how many people were or were not arrested, but some of these arrests have no public records at all. Most, if not all, of these warrants were never issued, much less served, yet they're still listed as accomplishments. Then they continue adding these non-existent warrants into their grand totals years later. These were from years ago, right? So we definitely should have seen some action by now. Now, I actually worked for them at the time, and I was physically present on 3 of these operations. During the time I worked with them, look, nothing I saw were trafficking cases, okay? They were targeting local online predators, which is a worthwhile effort, but it's very different than eradicating child trafficking. It's also important that civilians like me that were running the chats were not trained investigators. Then when we identified these pervs that wanted to do disgusting things to children, law enforcement would make the arrest. So it's disingenuous and even dishonest for a nonprofit or any civilian to claim they are arresting people. And when they're representing these local pedos as traffickers, right? We're not combating child trafficking. Now, you could try to stretch to some correlation, but again, that's disingenuous. So realize they are assigning a number of warrants and fundraising based on those results, yet those warrants never existed. When I worked with them, I was like, hey, do we no longer have a 100% conviction rate? Because I know for sure that some of these people were not convicted. They were like, well, we did the work, so we should still get the credit. It was pretty apparent to me that what they want was the credit, but that they didn't really care about the end result, but they were happy to fundraise as if the end result was achieved, right? All over you can see this 100% conviction rate and this representation that they are combating child trafficking, which, as you and I know, is not the same thing as local pedos. The whole representation definitely makes them look like they are fully capable of doing this, and that's just not what they're doing. Okay, so now let's talk financial transparency. By IRS law, nonprofits have to be transparent about their finances. They have to post them publicly. The nonprofits must publish annual 990 reports showing where money comes from and where it goes. So this organization is missing is 2024 990, which is definitely a red flag, and that's past due. Here's 2023 showing they raised over $500,000. And how many predators were actually arrested in 2023? 3. Not traffickers, local pedophiles. Now again, you can look at the arrest records for these individuals because I can't find them, and that's concerning. But